Hello! I'm going to teach you how to play 100 Swords by walking you through a few turns. Once you're done with setup, both players should have a hand of 5 cards. I'm going to be playing as both players, so I'm going to draw that up now. You'll be playing cards from your hand for their stats and effects. Normally this would be a secret, but I'm going to show you what cards I have so you know what I can do. I have 4 crappy swords and a pair of boots. So the first thing I'm going to do is play a pair of boots for their movement. I now have 2 movement points, but I don't need to use all of them. I'm actually just going to move 1 space. Now that I've moved, I have to check what card it is. First I look without showing it to anyone, and if it's a monster, I have to reveal it. This is a fishman. The fishman says, when revealed, I have to reveal another card. So the next card I'm going to reveal is this one. Ooh, that's a door. That means in this turn, I'm not getting past him. So what I'm going to do is play the 4 crappy swords from my hand, each for their strength. If you add that up, that adds up to 4 strength, which is enough for its defeat cost. The fishman is defeated. My turn is now over because I'm out of cards. So all of these are going to move to my discard pile, which is next to my deck, and the defeated fishman is going to go straight to its trophy pile above the deck of the player. Now that the turn is officially over, we're going to consolidate the dungeon by moving everything over to the left to fill in any empty rooms and drawing a new card to fill in the new space. The movement tracker is then moved out of the dungeon and the next player can start their turn. Normally you drop your hand of 5 cards at the end of your turn so that you can plan what to do with them during your opponent's turn. But since I only have 2 hands, I'm drawing them up at the beginning of my turn so I don't have cards everywhere. So let's see what the second player got. They drew up 3 crappy swords, a pair of boots, and an awkward sword. You'll see this door is in the way, and I'm going to need to get rid of that if I want to go further into the dungeon. So the first thing I'm going to do is pick up that key. I do so by playing a card for energy from my hand. When you play a card for energy, you play it horizontally. Every card you play for energy is worth 1 energy, unless it says otherwise in the effects of the card. It's also worth noting that a card's effects don't happen when played for energy, unless it says otherwise. So I've played this card for energy, and I'm going to drop the key into my hand. I've acquired it like a normal item. The next thing I'm going to do is play this pair of boots from my hand to move 2 rooms into the dungeon. I'm now at the door where I can play the key for its key attribute. It doesn't have any movement or strength, but it does let me acquire this door, which will move immediately to my trophy pile as stated by the trophy icon on it. My turn isn't over because I still have cards in my hand. So the next thing I'm going to do is play a crappy sword for movement and move 1 space further into the dungeon. Now we're going to check what this card is, and it's a monster, so I have to reveal it. It's a Displacer Ghost. It has the effect that when defeated, I can either draw a card or I have to retire a card from my deck or discard. So it has a defeat cost of 2 strength, and I'm going to play these 2 crappy cards for their 2 strength and defeat it. It now moves to my trophy pile. I choose to retire a card because that's going to make my deck more efficient. I'm going to retire this crappy sword, which means moving it from the deck to the trophy pile of the corresponding player. So now that that turn's over, the rest of the cards that I've played are going to move to my discard, and any rentals are going to move back to the rental area. Just like before, we're going to consolidate the dungeon and fill in any empty rooms with new cards. The movement tracker is going to go back to the beginning of the dungeon, and the next player can start their turn. Those are the basics of 100 Swords. You'll be moving through the dungeon, collecting items, defeating monsters, until either there aren't enough cards left in the deck to fill in the dungeon when it's the end of the turn, or when the boss is defeated. Once that happens, you go into the endgame phase. Now we've traveled forward in time. You'll see that the game has ended. The boss hasn't been defeated, but there aren't enough cards in the dungeon deck to fill in 5 rooms in the dungeon. So now that the game is over, each player is going to consolidate their discard pile, their deck, and their trophy pile, and count up the gold values in the upper right of each of their cards. At the end of the game, whoever has the most gold wins. If there was a tie, whoever has the most items with the word sword in their name wins. And if that's a tie, whoever slayed the most monsters wins. If that's an equal amount, then well, you just tied. And that's really rare, but congratulations. That's the basics of 100 Swords. If you want more specifics, download the rules from our website, and I hope you really enjoy the game. Thanks for watching.